So today we're joined by our new president, Matt O'Brien. With over 20 years' experience as a criminal law solicitor and partner at Jonas Roy Bloom, Matt's theme for his presidential year is Birmingham as a city of hidden gems, celebrating the people and ideas that make our legal community so special. In this interview, he shares his vision and priorities for the year ahead. Matt, welcome.
Thank you.
Every incoming BLS president chooses a theme for their year. You've chosen Birmingham as a city of hidden gems. What does that theme mean to you, and why did you choose it for your presidency?
So I first moved to Birmingham to live and work over 20 years ago, and one thing that has always struck me is that the number of amazing things in Birmingham that are tucked away, and that could be a community project, it could be a great restaurant or bar, it could be somebody doing excellent work within the community who's not blowing their own trumpet, and it relies on people to tell you about it. They are hidden gems, which sounds like a cliche, but you hear it more in Birmingham than you do in most other cities that I've been to. And I would say that it's the same within our legal community here in Birmingham. There's people doing amazing work for the wider community, for the legal community, and people don't shout about it. The problem is, you will know, they're a notoriously modest people, and so people don't shout about it, which is great. But what it means is that a lot of the best qualities of Birmingham often go unsung and overlooked. And so what I want to do during my year is to really shine a light on some of those hidden gems within the legal community and the wider community. So that's what I'm hoping to achieve in the year.
What kind of president do you envision yourself being for the society? How would you describe your leadership style or the approach you plan to take in serving and representing BLS members?
So I would say first and foremost, I'm an advocate and an ambassador for Birmingham and for its lawyers. And advocacy, as I know from practicing as an advocate in my day job, is about listening to your clients and giving them a voice. And so I want to give a voice to lawyers within Birmingham as part of my role. I think of myself as a collaborative leader. I'm naturally collaborative, even as a litigator. And so I like to give space to others to talk. I like to listen. But I think it's really important that you don't just listen, that you make things happen as a result. And so that's, again, what I want to achieve during this year.
You've outlined several goals and new initiatives for your year, from a family fun day in summer 2026 to reinvigorating the senior legal leaders' lunches and introducing a hallmark of excellence for award nominees. What would you say are the main goals you set for your 12-month term, and what do you hope to achieve with these initiatives?
So I think you've outlined them very succinctly. I've tried to strip it down to a few achievable goals that I think are going to make a difference for our members. I think probably the thing I'm most excited about is the Family Fun Day. It's a new event, a festival-style event. And what I'm hoping to do is to try and engage members and offer them something for whom, for example, a black tie dinner is going to be an unnecessary an unwelcome distraction for from their daily lives. And I'm particularly looking at engaging people with caring responsibilities, people with children, people with other caring responsibilities, people who just won't come into events and networking during the working week for whatever reason. So that's, I think, probably the thing I'm most excited about. I think also we've perhaps neglected senior leaders within the membership and almost taken them for granted in recent years. And so I know it's lonely at the top, of a law firm, of a barrister's chambers. And I think there's a real space for connecting senior leaders, decision makers within the firms, so that we're all effectively trying to recreate the very reason this society was founded, obviously by senior lawyers in Birmingham. And so I wanted to give some space for people to connect at the top of the profession. In terms of the hallmark of excellence, it's a small change. but I think it's going to make a real difference, because I want people to say, not I nearly won an award, but my excellence has been recognised by my peers and by other lawyers, and it's going to give them something, I hope, tangible to take away, that they can use to broadcast themselves to the wider legal community.
Your career has been in criminal law, advocating for people at moments when their liberty is at stake. How has that experience, working with clients who often face serious disadvantages, shaped your perspective and priorities as president of BLS?
So I'd say, perhaps obviously, it teaches you about advocacy. It teaches you about the importance of fairness and the importance of listening to other people, in the case of criminal law, your clients, often at some of the most difficult times in their lives, as you've said. So those are all skills that I hope to bring to the role of president. I think another thing that it's taught me over the years is the importance of mental health. Many of my clients have undiagnosed or untreated mental health conditions that ultimately have led them into the criminal justice system, where had there been more compassionate intervention at an earlier stage, you wonder whether they would have taken a very different path. And so that's something that it's taught me as well. I think the other thing that it's taught me, because it's such a high pressure and can be stressful, it's also taught me the importance of humour and wearing your responsibility lightly, which again I hope is something that's going to stand me in good stead as president.
As you say, mental health is a cause close to your heart, and you've chosen Birmingham Mind as the Society's charity partner for the year. What are some of the initiatives you have planned in collaboration with this charity, and why is supporting mental health important to you and also the legal profession?
Well, I think, as I've said, I mean, as a criminal lawyer, there's the wider societal perspective, but I think as well, as a lawyer and as somebody who has worked with lawyers in many other areas of the law, mental health is a real problem within our own profession, and that's at the bar or as a solicitor or in any other legal profession that you can think of. The work takes a toll, and I know that there are so many of us who are suffering in silence because there's still a real stigma around mental health, and particularly in the professions where there is this enormous pressure on people to maintain a facade and to make it look as if you're coping when perhaps you're not. And so that's why I was really pleased to partner with Birmingham Mind this year. One of the things that was important to me was that I wanted to support a charity where all of the money raised is spent here in Birmingham. And so that's what we're going to be doing this year. We're going to be supporting them with their own initiatives, and at our BLS initiatives we're going to be raising money which I hope to be able to sign off in a big cheque to them at the end of the year to help their work.
So Richard Port, MBE, has had a fantastic year before you. As you take over the reins, how do you plan to build on the momentum of Richard's presidency? Is there anything you'd like to say or acknowledge to Richard as you begin your term?
Well, I'd first of all like to say a big thanks to Richard. I mean, he's been very supportive of me personally as his vice president. He's given me a lot of advice. We've shared a lot of conversations about the work as the year's gone on. I think he's taught me, perhaps more than anything, that you can do things differently and still make a success of your year. And so that's one of the things that I'm hoping to build upon this year. He's laid very firm foundations for me to carry on this year. I can't say I'll be brushing off the gold Converse, but I'm sure I'll find some way of putting my stamp on the year.
Looking ahead to the end of your term, what do you hope your legacy will be? In other words, what impact do you want your efforts to have both within the society and the wider community by the time your presidency comes to a close?
So, again, it sounds like a cliche, but I obviously want to leave the society in stronger shape than I inherited it. Everyone wants to do that. It's a 200-year-old society. Some of the most senior lawyers, civic leaders within Birmingham have been president during the last 200 and more years. So those are some big shoes to fill, but what I'm hoping to achieve is if I can deliver on the Family Fun Day during the year, if I can deliver on building and strengthening the network of senior lawyers at the top of BLS, then I hope to have left something that's tangible and that others can build on in future years.
Your theme highlights the hidden gems in the legal community, as you said, the talented people and quiet initiatives that often go unnoticed. Why is it important to you to shine a light on those who might otherwise go unheard? And could you share an example of an inspiring hidden gem you've encountered that embodies this idea?
So, and within our own society, I would say probably the best example of a hidden gem are our own committees. These are professional committees made up entirely of volunteers, and they do fantastic work for the legal community. They advocate for members within their own areas of specialism. They give up enormous amounts of time to scrutinise legislation, respond to consultations, hold networking events to really bring the community together. But their work is often unheralded, and there are people out there I speak to all the time who aren't even aware of their existence. And so I think that is really worth sharing a light on to highlight the excellence within our own legal community and within our own society. Within Birmingham more widely, I could give you all sorts of examples of hidden gems that I've found over the years. The one I think I would draw people's attention to, there's a fantastic weekly newsletter, I Choose Birmingham. It does that job better than I could in terms of highlighting all of the wonderful things going on in Birmingham, and I would say if you're not already subscribed to it, subscribe to it.
How can Birmingham Law Society members get involved and contribute to your vision? For instance, what can members do to support the Society's efforts, whether it's engaging with the new events, supporting vulnerable groups through charity initiatives, or otherwise amplifying the positive work happening in our community?
So I think the most important thing, turn up, engage with the events, engage with networking events, nominate colleagues for legal awards, turn up and represent. Because you might see something that you like, that you want to get more involved in, and that will build upon the Society's work. So I would say, first and foremost, turn up. I think it's always so important that we get feedback from our members as to what works and what doesn't work. So if you turn up, let us know. Did it work for you? Was it something you enjoyed? Was it something you want to see again or not? Because we're only going to improve by listening to our members and what they tell us about.
At a time when the profession is focused on nurturing the next generation, how can BLS better support aspiring lawyers, especially students or young professionals from diverse backgrounds, in pursuing and developing their legal careers?
So this is an area that's really close to my heart. We live in a fantastically diverse, vibrant city where all sorts of people from every walk of life aspire to be lawyers. And you know, I say this as somebody from a rural background, a very modest background, who didn't know of anyone who was a lawyer. Nobody else in the family had ever been a lawyer before, who taught myself law during night school, and came into the law through an alternative qualification route. It's a cause that's close to my heart, to make sure that as many people as possible can engage with the Law Society and can see themselves as being the lawyers of the future. And I want every student, every young lawyer out there to realise that they are part of a community from day one.
Matt O'Brien, President of Birmingham Law Society, thank you very much for your time today. We look forward to the next 12 months and seeing your plans put into action.
Thanks, Kevin.